Welcome Spartans to Halo Book Club, part of Evolved, your home for Halo. Halo Book Club goes beyond the video games and covers Halo's extended media lore from the novels, short stories, comic books and more. I'm your host today, David, and with me is the returning, lovely Ian.
I am back again.
Ian, this is 2 book clubs in a row. You're on fire.
It is. Probably 2 in a row by release also, I would assume.
Oh yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, for sure. It's I like doing this. These are fun.
Yeah, you're rolling them.
They force me
These
to
are
actually
really easy to do.
Yeah, they force me to actually read the stuff that I sometimes forget to do, especially when it's on the website or on YouTube and it's not like a physical book.
Yeah, I tend, obviously we've fallen behind on these launched like last year and stuff like that, but they're really easy to do, so we're knocking them out as we get along.
Let's
do it. So today we are doing the book club, which is Halo: The Trial of Reckoning. This was published. Oh, sorry, I'll do some of the socials first before I go too far. So if you're new to the show, welcome everybody. This is Halo Book Club, part of Evolve, like I mentioned at the top of the show. We host a whole bunch of other shows. Our regular podcast Evolve, Vision Debrief, Builds of Blocks, Pro Talk, Halo TV Plus, as well as Halo Headlines and a few other sparkling more in there. You can learn more about all of our shows on our website, which is evolvedhalo.com. If you're a fan of the show, please rate us, leave a review. We'd like all of our feedback as well. We have a wonderful Patreon page. You should check it out if you're interested. So today I'm going to say thank you at the top of the show to our patrons. You guys are amazing, like I say, as always. If you're not subscribed, go check it out if you're interested. You get a bunch of exclusive rewards. You get early episodes, unique swag, our own soundtrack, that's right, as well as also an exclusive podcast run by the lovely Ian, which is I Would Have Been Your Podcast, which is a kind of off-topic, community-driven show where we try our best not to talk about Halo and talk about all the other things going on in the world as well.
That's right.
Isn't that right, Ian?
That is right. Yeah, it's we just it's usually me and you, or me and Aaron, or I think we had Steve on. The last episode was Steve, so it's
you had the Steve show.
It's try to get everyone on, but it's generally it's me and one other host. But yeah, we just talk about whatever. Halo inevitably comes up at some point, but that's not the focus of the podcast. It's just to talk about community stuff, answer patron questions or topics, kind of talk about what's going on behind the scenes at Evolved, that kind of stuff. So if you're interested at all in anything we're doing other than the shows themselves, you can go over to the Patreon, patreon.com/Halo Evolved. You can sign up and listen to that show. You'll get that show as well as the early episodes of some of our shows when we can get them out to you guys early. But we're there and we're talking. And if you guys want to ask us questions about whatever, you want us to talk about some random non-Halo topic, put it there and we'll get to it. So yeah,
that's the place to do it. So that's patreon.com/Halo Evolved if you'd like to learn more. We also encourage our listeners to support Audible. So over there they have all of the Halo novels all in one place, along with thousands of other books and loads of other content. And if you want a free trial, go check out audibletrial.com/podcast evolved to learn more and start a free trial today. Okay. This is the Halo kind of Chronicles series, I think they're kind of calling it. So we have Halo: The Trial of the Reckoning. The author is 343. We don't have a specific person. It is narrated once again by Alex Wakeford, with a badass voice. It's published by 343, as you can imagine. The format, it's an audio on YouTube, as well as a PDF and a Waypoint article that you can all go and read and listen, whatever way you kind of like to do it. I think you did a mixing that you listened and you read today.
I listened the first time through, and then I pulled up the transcript to try to kind of catch a couple of things that maybe I missed or didn't understand. But yeah, I did that. I like the YouTube, the audiobooks, because they got some background music and they do the voices. So it's good. It's good stuff. I really enjoy that. The production quality is pretty decent. I have a couple editor comments on their production quality, but overall it's a good.
Can't wait to get to those.
Yeah, well, the voice, like I said, it's just the same as the last episode. The voices are all awesome. All that's good. I love adding like the sound effects and that kind of stuff in. They kind of put that in sporadically, but that's it's used well. So I really like that.
Yep. This was released on the 6th of December and on YouTube, like I said on the post. It's about 15 minutes long, so it's nice and short. And here is the quick summary for you. The last bastion for the UNSC survivors trapped within the Banished-controlled territory on Zeta Halo has fallen. The survivors are brought to endure a harrowing trial within War Chief Escherum's headquarters, the House of Reckoning. This takes place in February 2560. The wreckage of the UNSC Mortal Reverie served as a central rally point and home for human survivors on Zeta Halo. But it was only a matter of time before it was overrun by the Banished. A handful of survivors from the battle have been brought to the Iron Halls of the House of Reckoning, where they are forced to take part in a twisted new war game. So obviously the location takes place on Zeta Halo. It has 4 characters, really. So we have a new character, which is Elena Bobov. We have Corporal Singh, who is your stereotypical Marine. And you have Spartan Hedge, which kind of peaked up as like, oh, I wasn't expecting a Spartan in the mix. And we also have a Sangheili, who's just called Doc. And these 4 beings, are essentially brought into the House of Reckoning. If you've played Halo Infinite, people listening probably have, you are aware of House of Reckoning. And this is the story takes place pretty much then. So the Mortal Reverie, that whole story, was a prequel to Halo Infinite. It was told in Halo kind of Rubicon, as well as a bunch of kind of various audio things throughout Halo Infinite you could listen to. Escherum is also features here. So that's kind of what I want to touch off, because I know you were talking about the audio quality and acting and stuff like that. The Escherum voice is absolutely not the Escherum voice from the games. So
yeah,
it's like...
It's kind of the Escherum voice, but it's not.
Yeah. I almost thought, I'm like, is this the exact same as the Gravemind? Because it seems like
you're right. I thought it right. I heard that at first too, and I was like,
yeah.
Oh, this is a great. Oh, no, it's not.
I was like, are they doing the same kind of voice modulation? So I imagine whatever way they've done it, they've just altered somebody's voice to make it Escherum-like.
Right. It kind of.
What do you think?
There was points where it did. Once I knew it was Escherum, I picked up on the kind of the voice, the vocal cues. But it was kind of like. It was just I think, like you said, they were doing some sort of similar modulation, but on, I imagine, Alex's voice. So it's, not the same voice actor, so it's not going to sound the same. It kind of sounded like Escherum doing like a Richard Nixon impersonation, I think, at one point. Like it was just a little bit weird, but whatever. I can't complain about that. It was good. I like the fact that they throw in the voices like that. That was good.
Yeah, same. So the story is really kind of short and sweet here, guys. It's these 4 characters. I think like Elena is kind of portrayed as the lead. It's all from her perspective. She kind of wakes up, realizes, okay, the battle that to fight for Mortal Reverie failed. She was captured, and they're being brought to the house essentially to play in like war games. So you would be familiar with this from Halo Infinite, because you would have went through it as Chief. So essentially they do it again. So it's just kind of a little bit of a build-up of setting the scene. This Sangheili is like a doctor. He won't give his real name, so they're calling him Doc. But he seems to be a prisoner and very much kind of on their side. He kind of helps them a little bit, kind of get their bearings before like Escherum comes on like the loudspeaker, and as kind of the hologram that we've seen in the game, pretty much announcing to them like, your goal here essentially is to fight and survive, and you will like learn essentially to be Atriox and behave as Atriox behaves, which is just grueling fight after fight after fight, and your reward is pretty much just to get fed, and then you get to do it all again the next day. That's essentially it. Like, no fighting actually takes place. It's like, it's kind of the build up from Elena waking up to the few moments essentially that leads up to what sounds like kind of waves of Banished coming for them, and the story kind of ends with pretty much where the fight begins. And we kind of know already that like all these people are dead, because we got there as Chief and there was no survivors essentially in the House of Reckoning, which is kind of harrowing. But it was such a cool premise, and I was kind of more looking forward to the story because I thought the setting was so cool in the game. When we got there, I was like, oh, this is like almost like a Banished training ground, like where their own version of war games, which is kind of like what the multiplayer in Halo was always kind of geared as like a in-universe training simulation for Spartans. So to see like the alternate version of the Banished doing something similar to learn how humans fight and stuff like that, this all almost sounds like a punishment though as well, the way Escherum kind of says it. I kind of expected a bit more from the story, to be honest. I was a little bit disappointed that it kind of ended so quickly. But I suppose it is what it is. What did you make of it, Ian?
Yeah.
Any kind of interesting points from? I know I said it was very short, but
Yeah, like you said, it was quite short. Yeah, effectively, it's sort of the origin story of that one part of that one level. I guess that was the House of Reckoning level, right? That's the
yeah, correct.
yeah. So yeah, for those who have played through the Infinite campaign, yeah, that level is you basically go in there. That's right after you defeat whoever the boss is, the Sangheili who's cloaked. I can't remember his name.
He's before that, I think.
Is he right?
Or is he before or after?
He's before that. So it is right. The level is right after that.
Jaga, I think.
Jaga, yeah. So it's right after that, and you get in there, and I can't remember how much expose they give it in the game, but you get in there and it's sort of set up like some sort of like training ground, but it was a little confusing, at least for me, the first time I played through the campaign. Like, why does this exist? I guess they kind of explain it in the. I think when you go up, I can't remember. At some point in that level, they explain kind of what it is, and so this is sort of a origin story, sort of prequel, I guess, to that, where the some group of Marines was taken to there to basically it's the brutes just playing with the UNSC troops and just doing that to have fun. I know they come up with, I think Eshram says in it something about what does he say about just echoing Atriox's struggle, or kind of like following the
he says you'll come to know Atriox,
right? Like what happens in what's the Rise of Atriox comic book series? It kind of that and the Halo Wars 2 the expose on Atriox's backstory. It's kind of like saying, this is what he went through, and he wants everyone to experience this kind of thing. But I mean, ultimately it's going to be futile for them. Obviously, for one thing, it's effectively endless brutes versus I can't even remember how many Marines were actually there. I don't think it was very many though. And obviously they're not there when you get to it in the campaign. So there weren't any. I don't remember there being any like dead bodies or anything like that in the campaign.
No, there isn't. I'm pretty sure they kind of clean it up after each round.
Okay. So yeah, it was interesting. I mean, like you said, there isn't a whole lot there. It's just kind of a very quick story about just a group of Marines that got dragged into the House of Reckoning, and I can only imagine are now dead.
Pretty much.
Now this is. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, well, the most interesting thing is the backstory they gave Elena, and like Elena is the driver of the Mammoth in Halo 4, and she kind of briefly talks about that, like, there's one job I had for no reason whatsoever. They kind of say, when I drove a Mammoth for Lasky and Chief.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah, I had forgotten about that, but yeah, that was there. That and the part about the Spartan, his name is...
Oh yeah, Spartan Hedge.
Yeah, him being in the...
Fire Team Lancer.
Yeah, what was it? Well,
so it's
the
Spartan
battle,
Ops, essentially.
It was right, but wasn't he in... Didn't they say they picked him up in the... I thought they picked him up in the battle on Earth for... with... Jules' forces wasn't that where they picked him up?
Yeah, that's Spartan Ops. That was Jules' kind of storyline.
I thought that part of it was in the. I thought that was in a different side. Was that in a comic or something? I can't remember.
Oh, there was a bunch of it. Yeah, there was. They did a Spartan Ops comic book storyline. I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did. He wasn't. I don't know if Lancer. Spartan Hedge was in it, but yeah, for sure.
I thought there was. Well, I could be mistaken. I only got through it once, but yeah, that was. They mentioned that, and which is fine. It's just like you said, that and the Mammoth thing. It's just kind of like interesting little tidbits to kind of link up to other parts of the lore. My only issue with it is Aaron's mentioned this before, where it kind of makes the universe feel small when everything's just all connected. It's sort of the Star Wars problem, where every character is a sibling or friend or something of another character from somewhere else. And I mean, I know why they do that, they want to link it together and kind of give the fans a little bit of those little nuggets of lore kind of thing. But
Yeah.
it's just like one of those things. Okay, well, I mean, I didn't really need that little bit. Now it's like, okay, well, now we have the mammoth driver, I guess, from Halo 4, who ends up on Zeta Halo and I guess ultimately perishes. But yeah, it was fine. I mean, it's fine. It's it's not, like I said, it's a very tiny story, so it doesn't really have any significant impact at all on the lore and the universe. But it's just I thought that was unnecessary.
Yeah, a little bit. I suppose this is like Infinity's crew, right? So this is kind of really the dregs and
Yeah,
leftovers
that's true.
of what
That's
was
true.
Infinity. So like it kind of does make sense. That, like, okay, what were the big stories Infinity was in? Well, it was
that's true.
pretty much
You're right.
Halo
You're
4,
right. That's true.
know,
I mean, it is all Infinity, and I guess to an extent that makes sense because most of the lore we've gotten post Halo 4 and beyond is Infinity related. So I guess there's a higher likelihood of just those linkages, I suppose.
Yeah, and it's just a small thing, and it kind of goes nowhere. Do you know what I mean? Then because like, these characters are dead, pretty much dead, and we'll never hear from them again.
That is very true. Yes, they are very dead. Well, I guess technically we find out, but I mean, presumably they're very dead.
Yes.
They
are very dead.
Maybe you can answer this for me. The Sangheili at the beginning.
Doc. Yes.
Yeah, Doc. I was thrown off by that because so I went into this pretty much blind. So I didn't know what was happening at first. I mean, other than what they told. Like I didn't know we were going to where we went. So I kind of came in and then they introduced. I think they introduced Doc right when she had gotten there, but I think before they knew where they were. And so I was confused because like at first I thought he was on their side.
Yeah, I think he is. He's one of the 4. So the way I read it is that like saying there was 4 of them left there. Like I thought maybe the Doc was a banished member.
That's what I thought too.
And he was just like reviving the Marines to get them battle ready, and away you go. But essentially he seems to be like a pacifist. Almost. Yeah, so
that's why I was just super confused because they didn't know who he was, so he wasn't on there with them. Not that. Well, I think there was any Sangheili on Infinity that we know of.
Elena kind of hinted that there was a contingent of Sangheili potentially on Infinite, and this guy could just be one of them, also captured by the Banished. I mean, you have to remember, like, the Infinity was massive, and there was probably all sorts of shit going on that, like, a lowly mammoth driver would never fucking clue. So, but then it's also, this character could be a Banished kind of character that they're just throwing away. That they're like, he's a traitor, or he's just not what they want, or whatever, or maybe he just doesn't like the Banished tactics. So it could be like a defector. That's the word I'm looking for. So either way, he's been lumped in with these Marines to fight, and he said like, well, I'll keep your ammunition. I'll make sure you have ammunition during the fight, and when you run out, I'll grab enemy weapons and make sure you have enemy weapons. So he's on their side, but
yeah, I was a little confused by that because then that was, I guess, towards the beginning and middle of it, and then I don't think we ever hear from him again. So
that's it. Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, is he? Yeah, that's where I was at. Like, is he banished and he's just basically there to just like get them back together for the next round kind of thing, or is he on their side and he's just, like you said, a pacifist, so he'll help out when he can, but he obviously was not gonna fight back directly.
Yeah.
I don't know. That part was a little bit confusing to me. I suppose in the end it doesn't matter, but it was, I would have liked some clarification on that. Despite, I mean, it's just a 15-minute story, but still.
Yeah, and he's dead now, so
he's more than likely. Well, I don't know. Yeah, he's a pacifist. Maybe he survived. I don't know. He ran off. I don't know. Maybe they all survived.
Maybe.
Well, this was okay. So, this was basically happening. I think they got dragged out of the Moral Reverie right after, I guess, that attack on the Moral Reverie. Is that what?
Yeah, the attack that was in Halo Rubicon.
Yeah, the Rubicon Protocol. Yeah. So this would have been like in parallel at some point with parts of that book.
Yeah, it would have been. It would have been just after it. I can't remember where that book ends.
Yeah, I thought the battle was towards the beginning or middle, and then they follow. I don't remember the characters, but they follow the group of characters basically
The
the ones.
Spartans.
Well, the Spartan.
Yeah.
Well, the Spartans you meet up on, during the
Stone
Infinite
and stuff like
campaign,
that.
right?
Yeah.
And so I presumably this is happening at some point during that story.
Yeah, I mean, you probably can find out because we have the date, which is February, and as far as I remember...
Oh, did they give us an actual date?
Not a specific date, you just said February.
Oh, February.
February
Yeah.
2860.
Yeah, I could ask Halopedia, although I feel like they are not all the way up to date either on this stuff.
No, but we have... Where is the events? February 2560. So January is where all the Spartans... So we're in Hovath, Griffin, Kovan, Fireteam, Taurus, that's them. They try and assassinate Esherum. So that's all January. So I think the 2nd of February is when the Mortal Reverie falls. That's the big fight.
Yeah, I see that.
So,
Okay.
So all we have then is Rubicon Protocol happens in March. So you're right. Yeah, there's a good bit of the book that probably takes place after that fight. I can't really remember.
Yeah. I only read through Rubicon Protocol once, and I honestly can't really remember the details.
Yeah. So at least what you can remember is that John shows up around the 28th of May.
Right. So this is all prequel to the campaign. Yeah.
So these guys would have to be fighting a long time to still be around.
Yes. I think one of those Spartans, not from this story, but from Rubicon Protocol, does manage to make it almost there, if I remember correctly, time wise. There
is one we on account of. I think it's.
Oh no, I guess we get the one. We get the one that we the one we find who's like basically almost dead.
Yeah, we find some of them all right, and then there is one Spartan that is still alive and unaccounted for, from that original team.
Oh, that's right.
I think it's Stone is what I want to say, or Sorrow.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Anyway,
much
for muchness, guys.
Back to this story. Yeah, so this is well before any of that, though. This is, I can't imagine they survived more than a day. So
yeah. Well, but a Spartan, he could have kept them alive for a little bit, and Sangheli.
Well, that's true. That's true. I forgot.
Kind of good.
You're right. I forgot there's a Spartan in that group. There's 5. Was it 4, 5, 6 people? I can't remember.
There's only 4, including the Sangheli. So Alina Singh, which is generic Marine guy, he's definitely dead. And then you have Doc.
2 Marines, a pacifist Sangheli, and a Spartan.
Yeah. Sounds like a start of a joke, but a Halo kind of joke. But there you go.
Well, for anyone who's played all the campaigns, those Marines aren't going to last very long.
No, they don't. I don't have any much else to say. There's no trivia really. This story is very short and sweet. I was a little bit disappointed because I love the setting. I kind of wanted a bit more to it. But I know these are just little tidbits of lore that the game is giving you, and I know they've put out some more stuff on Elena recently in like a canon fodder, more of her background and stuff like that. Yeah, but again, she did. And Spartan Hedge has a bit because he's kind of fleshed out a bit more as well.
Oh, okay. I'll have to catch. I
just little bits.
Yep.
Nothing major. So we'll leave it there, Ian. This was good. Good little story.
Yeah.
It's 15 minutes, like we said. Give it a listen. It's a very quick read if you fancy the PDF. That is pretty much it. Thank you for listening. Like I mentioned at the top of the show, you'll find all of our episodes on our website, haloevolve.com. You find links to all of our stuff over there. Once again, shout out to our patrons. Thank you very much. And leave us a voicemail if you like, because we have a phone number, which is 205-EVOLVE, which is 205-386-5833. I've been your host today, David, and until next time, evolve.